everyone, and welcome once again to the virtual desktop experience. As always, I am James Webster, aka HCMJ, proud member of Death's Dynamic Shroud, along with
Tech Honors, that's me, and to my left is...
I'm Kevin, aka Equip.
And my name is Mark, also known as R23X, also known as VHS Stills.
And so it's wonderful, Mark, to have you back after your final checkup for your unnecessary dental surgery that you had to get done. Otherwise, you...
Not the final one. There's still more.
Oh my god.
Yep.
So let's hold on a second. Let me just go ahead
Still
So
drinking smoothies.
I'm gonna add a new element here, and it's
Dude,
gonna
it's been like 4 months.
It's been over a month.
Oh my.
I'm hoping that it will be resolved by the next year. Yeah. By New Year's.
Yeah. I thought it was only supposed to be like 2 weeks.
Nope.
So Mark, what can you tell us about your teeth? What's the situation? What's the word from the dentist, if they're called that in Canada? I'm not sure. What's going on?
Well, since you're asking, they removed the stitches 1 week ago. So I had to go in, as maybe you guys saw a few weeks ago, to get more stitches put in because the initial stitches didn't hold. So then they put in like fishing, like bass, like ocean sea bass, like grade fishing line through there.
That's socialized healthcare for you, am I right?
Nice.
And then I got the second stitches out the other day, a week ago, and it just doesn't feel right there. And there's still like cement in my mouth stopping me from closing my jaw so I don't bite it. Yeah.
Like a dog.
A little bit, yeah.
That's what they do to dogs.
I don't have a cone on, but
Really
I probably
bad.
should have had a cone. But yeah, so maybe by Christmas I'm hoping that I'll be able to eat a sandwich again.
You know, a lot of
That's truly
people,
insane.
a lot of people don't know this, but William Shakespeare had a problem with gnawing on his leg bones, which is why he's always depicted as having a sort of Victorian collar. It's like a dog cone for poets, basically.
That's true, yeah. The poet's dog cone.
So Kevin, Tech, and I have seen a lot of each other in real life recently, which has been a blessing and a blessing, because they are two of my real best friends, and I love seeing them, and I love being near them. So,
We had a blast.
We did.
Kevin,
That was a
I'd
really
love
good
to hear
weekend.
your perspective on. I would love to hear your perspective on what the experience was like for you to spend so much time with me in Austin, Texas, where all three of us played the Levitation Music Festival as a part of a 100% Electronica artist showcase. That was fantastic.
Emphasis on the fan.
Yeah, because it was sold out. There were like 1,000 people there. So it was basically like Electronicon 1 vibes. There were 2 stages with incredible musicians performing all night. Kevin was one of the first to perform, and Tech and myself were one of the last. Sound check for us was, I think, like 3:30 p.m. and then we stormed the stage about 12:50 a.m. So, but between that time, spent a lot of time at the merch table, slinging tapes left and right, meeting and greeting. But Kevin did not have merch to sell, so he got to experience a little bit more of the show than at least I did. So, Kevin, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
I got to see everyone, which was great. And, I mean, as much as I
everyone?
like...
For the
Sorry?
folks at home.
Yeah, as much as I like
Who
sitting around
who
and
is that?
slinging merch, it was really nice to
Who's everyone?
just
Kevin, if
go
you could
see
just tell us who everyone was, so that for the folks at home.
So we had Equip, we had Magdalena Bay, We had Caroline Loveglow. We got Negi Jemmy. We got George Clanton. And we got DDS. And that was it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Jeez.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so 3 acts on each of the 2 stages. And I didn't really understand the gravity of the crowd and how many tickets were sold until I was there. I don't know why, but I kind of assumed that the venue was smaller. And
Me too.
I thought that it was going to be around 300 to 500 people. I would have no way guessed that it was like 1,200 people.
Yeah.
But
it
that
literally was like Electronica 1's size crowd, basically.
It was the same people that were packed into Econ 1, packed into a kind of a tighter space. But I don't know. It didn't ever feel like...
yeah, that main stage, it was like a huge
It's pretty
like
spread
aircraft hangar style. So it was all open air and just like a ton and ton of standing room. And then on the inside, it had intimate club vibes.
Yeah.
Which felt good. A couple of people in the chat asking about Windows 11. Of course it's bad. I don't fucking know. You think I'm going to use this shit? Get out of
See,
town.
There's Disney stuff. There's Disney
Legit,
stuff.
dude.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. So they got
What
rid
to
of the
watch
Minecraft
next?
guy and they replaced it with a bunch of ads for Frozen 2. Who cares? Get out of town. It's not even... None of this is real. It's as flimsy and shitty as every version of Windows has ever been since the dawn of time. And I watched all of this demonstration footage, and they're showing what's behind the system. They still have like folders for 32-bit Twain support. In case you got some digital camera from like 1997 that you're trying to use. It's like, get real, folks. That's one bloated piece of shit.
SCSI zip drive to it.
Windows XP was pretty good.
No, it wasn't.
Don't say that.
Windows
around.
3.1 was a great operating system.
Well, yeah.
I'm more of a
3.1.
Windows ME's man myself.
Mm.
Wasn't that
Millennium
only on like
Edition.
the Dreamcast or something? That's CE.
Yeah, that was...
Why is the
Oh yeah, that was
menu
the
opens up in the
Dreamcast.
middle?
That's the biggest change they
Yeah,
made.
it's really...
They flipped-
everything is centered. Lots of Wes Anderson
there.
influence. Hold on, I gotta talk to Daniel real quick. Oh man,
Oh
yeah,
my
new
God.
teams chat is awesome. It's so great.
All right.
I can coordinate with my teams. It's awesome. I got my
Can't wait to
Brad's on
work.
there. Yeah, it's all pretty good. It's all pretty good. Hello there. How should I format this? Can I add an emoji? Oh, good. I have a GIF. Oh, use the Squid Game. That's great. I'll send a Squid Game GIF to my friend Brandon LeBrock. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about the layout tonight. There's really nothing else worth talking about. So.
James had to watch over 400 hours of Windows 11 footage to.
And I'm
to cover this.
furious about it.
It's an entire
when
week's
did
worth of footage.
When did Windows adopt the bar at the bottom, like Mac? Is it like when did they get rid of the start menu? I guess.
Well, the start menu has slowly become more like the dock, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas it used to be the start menu was like the Apple menu in the menu bar that was always there in Mac OS, and then Mac added the dock, but that's really more of a Unix thing. Like that came from the Unix Linux sort of worlds, and Windows has been slowly moving in that direction since, I guess, Windows 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
I-
mine's. I'm looking at my Windows right now, and I got the Windows, the start thing. There's the search bar thing, which is kind of like Finder. And then there's the apps that I got open, and then there's the tray, where all of the apps, it's like a secondary start, but it's really convoluted because there's like stuff is running and it's in the tray, and it doesn't show up at the bottom of my like tasks. It's just it's like a Frankenstein operating.
Sounds like it needs Aqua Rails.
It does. It could definitely be
Everything
some
would be better
awkward
with
rails.
awkward rails.
And let me just grab iTunes.
Still waiting for Windows 9. Did they ever release that, or is that going to come out after 11?
So Windows 9, that is going to be the final episode of the Virtual Desktop Experience. We will unveil Windows 9.
Running on the iPhone 9.
Yeah,
We'll be using Teams instead of Skype. And,
it's going to be really exciting.
Wait, yeah, was Windows numbered prior to 7?
No. It was numbered by the year that it came out. And then it was XP, and then it was Windows 7, which is more or less arbitrary, but, like, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Well, it's like Mario Kart.
Is it?
exactly like Mario Kart.
Yeah, it was Mario Kart was always like double dash.
That's right.
Yeah, and then out
Double
of
Dash
nowhere,
is a good ring
right?
to it.
Mario
Yeah,
Kart 7.
I like that.
And it was also confusing, of course, if you were... I've been thinking a lot about Final Fantasy VI, Mark, ever since you sent that video of the Magitech 1/6 scale Magitech armor figurine.
Wait, are we allowed to play
let's
that? Or
watch
is
that.
like,
We're gonna
No
watch
sound,
it.
though. No
How
sound.
much was that?
yeah, no sound.
There's
How
no
much?
I don't
price
know.
on it, nor
It's a
should there
priceless
be.
object. Yeah.
They're going to it's going to be like a Squid Game style competition to win it, I think.
20K.
Yeah. I've never seen the show. I assume people fight like Battle Royale in it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna watch it.
It doesn't matter. It's good,
They're gonna mint that 3D model as an NFT.
It's compelling.
Oh my god. It's just a 3D model. That's all it is. It's never going to exist.
Hmm.
That was somebody in CG painting it. Yeah. They should have called it Windows Series X.
Windows Series Windows. I like that a little bit better.
Windows box.
Are you?
I'm pulling it up right now.
How about the
It's my
window?
pleasure.
This
Hey,
is
look
so
at this. We
hard
got
to
some
get
Hobbit
background.
windows here.
Ooh.
Hobbits only choose circular windows.
Hobbit windows. They don't know any better. They're small.
Stupid.
Oh, that would be sick if all the windows in the OS were circular instead of rectangular. That'd be a cool OS decision.
Well,
I'm
so
looking.
if you use Linux, man, you could do that. That's like...
Yeah. Would they be locked to be circular or oval? I guess that's your own personal choice.
it depends how good you are at coding. So let's
Bro, all my windows
let's
are
take a look at
good.
this.
soft
Yeah, so
locks
check
if you
this
try to
out.
reset.
This is the master line 1/6 scale. There's a lot of build-up here. Yes, we understand it's Final Fantasy VI.
cooler with you. Yeah.
You know what blows my mind is that the footage that they're using is from the Super Famicom version and not the upcoming Pixel remaster
I
or
can't
the
believe
botched.
she's touching a floating ball. That's the sickest part, because all those little floating things that
that is
Amano
cool.
put into the art. Oh my! This is
The
so
Can your hair be
big.
a little bit more green though? It's huge.
That
Is
is
it even
massive.
going to be for sale? It's too good.
I mean, if it was, it'll be
That's
like
beautiful.
over
It's a
$1,000.
beautiful,
easy.
beautiful video.
Yeah. It's like a maquette or something of the intro scene.
The opening, sequence. God.
Can't wait to play the Pixel
Just fucking
remasters.
Moogles on it.
Jesus.
Ah.
Though, that's kind of just not really agreeing with the canon of the game.
What?
There's at no
Wait, how
point
not?
will you.
There's-
There's no point in the game where you ride a Magitech where you have, a
Hey.
Moogle with you.
Is
that true?
Yeah. I don't know.
Don't they pilot one in like one scene or something? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Look at her hair. Look at the little curly flips. She's so brain drained. It's amazing.
How do they do that?
Look
How
at
do
her
they make
touching
that?
that little ball, floating ball thing so delicately.
Like unbox it and then like brush your finger past it and then it snaps off. You're just like, no!
Oh wow, they put flames and stuff. Jesus, that is so fucking cool.
So it's like, but what do you do with this thing? It's like, So I mean, it's like
that is
this big, right? So I mean, you'd have to have
Jar.
like a big, nice house with a room full of bullshit. And you must really love Final Fantasy VI.
Coming soon.
You have to have a lot of money to buy that, probably.
They did once a Shadow Lord from Final Fantasy XI that was like, I don't know, like $1,000 or something, like a giant Shadow Lord that was like this big. And I remember thinking at the time, like, God, I should just buy this because now is the moment. It's gonna go away. They're gonna shut down the servers. No one's gonna think about this game 40 years from now. I'm never gonna do with a big fucking Shadow Lord. I don't need that. Let me see if I can find the reveal video for that.
What am I gonna do with a big fucking Shadow Lord?
Let's see.
Was it also in the master line, or is that a new term that they made up for this?
I don't know what
No,
that
this
is.
was Final Fantasy XI Sculpture Arts.
I don't really like the term master line. It's kind of
2008.
got a Third Reich ring to it. I don't know.
Just didn't say that. It's like the PC Master Race subreddit.
Yeah, that was weird shit.
Yeah, are you allowed to call it that?
There's a really cool. I got an email about it. There's like a new Aerith Final Fantasy VII remake, and it just like her in her red dress, the figure just looks like so insanely detailed. I think that was also a master line.
Okay, so just
Ring
looking
Art
at
or something, or
looking at Square Enix's website here, there's a Nier Automata 1/4 scale statue that is selling
that's
for
too big.
$2,800.
That's kind of what I figured it'd be like.
Yeah, about
$3,000.
$3K. Yeah.
This thing I think it was cheaper than that. I think it was like maybe between $500 and $800. I'm not sure, but it's like
Scale?
it's like this big, I think. And here you see, of course, the Shadow Lord. Well, I don't want to spoil the story for all those that are going to see us play through the game, we will face this beast. That was once a man. He is now the Shadow Lord.
Well, you just spoiled it.
That Final Fantasy, that Aerith figurine that you were talking about is only 154, and it's just one of the Kai, Play Arts Kai.
Play Arts Kai.
Yo, link it, dog.
Speaking of a beast that was once a man, right here on the Square Enix website, I'm seeing Marvel's Avengers Captain America's Cap Wolf outfit.
Yeah, they do a bunch of weird crossover stuff where they have like Japanese manga artists and their concept designers redesign like Iron Man and Wolverine and shit.
Yeah,
Sounds kind of cool.
I mean, half of it's cool.
How can they guarantee that it's 1/6 scale? I don't know what 1-to-1 scale of a Magitech armor is like.
Well, apparently you just multiply it by 6 and then you'll know.
Whoa. Yeah, but that's retroactively auditing the size of it. They could have the starting point. I want to know if they.
It's a
know
weird
how to
ball
say.
joint one. I don't like.
They know the starting point, so they designed it at 1/6, and now you have to do the math to figure out what they know already.
Yeah, if
They
you
made
want
up
to know,
a
then
number.
you have to. Yeah.
I remember when we were making the booklet for the Infinity Gate, still unreleased album by The Sailing from
No, I can pull that
2008. Sure. There's a piece of art. And, like on the cover art, there's a dragon flying around a castle, and then the castle is on a floating continent in space. And the inside booklet has a picture of like a close-up of that same exact dragon in his head, and Michael, our bassist, modeled the hero with the cape,
Indeed.
slamming, getting ready to slam a sword into the dragon's head. So then we measured how tall Michael was in the image, and basically just found how many Michaels long the dragon was, based on the size of the head that he was standing on and the head's size against the rest of its body, and were eventually able to determine that the dragon was like 1.6 miles long, I believe.
Yeah, it's really
That's a big old
difficult to
dragon.
find anything in this folder.
Where are you? Are you
for finals, and then
Windows 11.
Oh. Oh, the naming conventions.
yeah,
Ugh.
art
Yeah.
for Granger, and a spear. Take one. Annie spear. Logic 9 files. That's a good one.
If you think that
Magic Nine.
James and I joke around now, the amount or the total complete lack of seriousness when it came to organizing files when we were in our early 20s is just caused many headaches in trying to find things.
Yeah, now
I
here
got
I am
this
trying to find
because
this gosh
I'm
darn
still
image.
like that.
Yeah, no, that's not good. You gotta grow, Kevin. You gotta grow.
I just cannot seem to get it together.
Billions of years ago. Doc. It's a classic.
Wow.
Billions of years ago. When a million just ain't enough.
Yeah. Billion, that's the biggest number.
Alright, I can't find this. I did, however, and I've shown this on the show before, I think in season 1, way back in the day, but I think it deserves another look. Our drummer, friend of the show, former guests, Gustavus, remade the cover of Year Zero from scratch. And so that is still...
Wait, can you bring up Year Zero first?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry for context.
Really looks like
for the
you're-
kids.
Searching
Yeah.
Talking about
in the
Nine Inch
background
Nails.
there.
Yeah,
Year
Year Zero's 2007 Nine Inch Nails album that was heavily hyped due to a
ARG
what's it called?
experience.
ARG. Yeah, an ARG experience where people could like find flash drives in the wild and decode stuff.
So here's Year Zero.
Super cool. So yeah, this
Let's
is
pull
the
this up in a
album.
Windows tile here, which is cool. It's like some creepy god hands coming down. You know, it's like ooh, what's happening? That's spooky
Someone
stuff.
taking a picture out the window of their car.
What the
And
heck is happening?
yeah, and so our buddy Gus, this was his version. Pretty close. That's pretty close, isn't it?
Got the
Thank
papyrus
you, Gus.
on.
We're not finding this dragon image. This is a lost cause. We're not doing that.
Okay.
There is
We
one
found-
other thing that I did want to bring to everyone's attention. When I was looking for footage of Windows 11, which as you can see, look at all this great stuff going on in there. Oh, wonderful. You got to get there's the Twain 32 support. You got to get your ca.es folder and your RAS folder. You got your SRU folder. You got your NL-capital NL folder. Your perfh 009.dat. I mean, how are you going to operate your system without that? You know, it's really important that they're still using application extensions and .dll files in 2021 because that's a great way. All right. Anyway, so I'm looking for this footage, right, of all this .dll hell bullshit, and I discovered a whole universe of like YouTube. Like Windows YouTube. And so these three were presented in the sidebar all on top of each other here. It's like someone tried to clone VAPERROR Jeff, but it was like a horrible disaster, you know? And yeah, so there you go. Clean install.
Graphics.
Download now. Free upgrade.
Download now. Oh, yeah.
I'm still on the Square Enix website. I find it just it's mysteriously bad. It's like
it's horrible.
the navigation is just
It's incompetent.
mind-boggling. But they're still
It's
selling
really
the
frustrating.
old like mobile ports of Final Fantasy V,
Oh my god.
which have been now delisted from Steam. So I wonder what happens if you buy it. If it just gives you like like a Steam code that doesn't. How does that work?
I bought Final Fantasy IX like complete in box sealed on there like a year ago, and it was like wasn't a black disc, it was like a burnt disc or something.
Right. Yeah.
Like if
got
you
weird
just
stuff
woke
on
up
there.
one day and
silver
Tomb
PS1
Raider,
discs.
Tomb Raider was just your favorite franchise. I mean, you're in luck because these games don't even cost $1.
98 cents.
Yeah.
These are almost like the price of a Destiny and Shroud mixtape when you join the New World Mixtape Club, you know, but a little more expensive.
I am legitimately excited. Like, I don't need anything from here, but I'm always excited for the Square Enix Black Friday sale. Because there was just one year where I got like a ton of cool shit. Like just a big box full of RPGs, and it was like $25 or something.
Yeah, I came on here and definitely bought Final Fantasy Origins, Chronicles, and 7 or something. Yeah, they still sell the PS1 games.
They still have it. Yeah.
The prices were comically low. Like I remember getting like for PSP I got Crisis Core, Tactics Ogre, Final Fantasy Tactics. They were like $1.99 each. I got for PS3 I got 13-2 Lightning Returns for $1.99 each. I got DS.
What was the DS game up there?
Dragon Quest V. I got just like a pile of games, and they were like the shipping cost more than the entire total of the games. Like the shipping was like $10 or $15. And
dude,
the
I'm
games
about
had
to buy this. This is sick as hell.
Oh, the mouse pads?
Mhm.
Yeah. I want those.
That's really cool. And they have this in front of an iMac Pro, too, which is really fucking cool. They photoshopped out the Apple, but I know what that is. Dude, you see that mouse there? Dude. You don't even want to know about that mouse. But holy hell, look at Furion there with the blood sword. That is really cool. See, they get me every time. $35. Oh, look at your boy. Look at the way his body is contorted on this box.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's great.
Well, he looks cool on there.
People should rely on themselves, not others.
Libertarian squall.
Yeah. But Final Fantasy Origins on here is still on here for $15 for the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 5.
What's the DS game there? Scroll up to the DS game. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm very curious that where
Crystal Chronicles. There's
Is it
two.
It's probably just Crystal Chronicles.
The Ring of
okay.
Fates and Echoes of Time. You know what's wild
Oh, yeah,
is
there.
Yeah, Ring of Fates.
Yeah.
Crystal Chronicles Echoes of Time came out on both Wii and DS, and I was like looking into the Wii version, and it's like the same exact version as the DS. They just like put the screens like next to each other on your TV, and the graphics are the same. It's really wild. It's like they developed it for the DS and then they ported it to the Wii, and you can play multiplayer, or at least you could, like cross system.
Sick.
They collect.
Between DS.
Does he have these Dragon Balls?
That looks like Dragon Balls.
Look like Dragon Balls to me.
I love DS graphics so
Those
much.
games are like somewhat fun. I remember playing, just like burning time on like commutes to work playing those games.
They're just like straight dungeon crawling and loot getting.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wasn't into it. I
Speaking
really wanted
of
to be.
straight dungeon
I was
crawling
obsessed
and
with
loot
DS.
getting, I think we should talk about dungeon encounters. Has anyone played this yet?
I have not played that yet.
No.
It's on the it's on the Switch.
I feel like if you play this game, you'll be like punished in the afterlife. Like you'll be standing there, and Saint Michael or whoever's going to be like, "You had one shot at being alive, and we gave you X amount of years to experience, this whole world of art that we made possible by giving you the gift of the cerebral cortex, and instead you chose a meta dungeon crawler." I'm afraid it's not gonna work out.
You gotta go back.
What if there
Well,
was an
I'm
RPG without?
Do you play as a marble or what? What is it?
Basically.
It's just panel-based. Like you're just navigating through a kind of maze, and yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it just cuts out the bullshit, right?
And
You
it has a
collect
really,
characters
really compelling story that breaks the fourth wall.
Traverse
Nice.
several squares.
Probably, yeah.
But
It's just
I don't know. For me, part of the fun of a dungeon crawler is being in a dungeon. You know, like looking at the cave walls and how the enemies are chosen because they would exist in that environment, and there's some kind of, you know, like storytelling elements. You know, like I'm in
Surely
the.
there's more to the game. Surely.
That's it. This is all it is grids and numbers, and then RPG combat that
Well, that part looks cool.
looks like this. Like this is the combat.
Mm.
Oh, that's the combat?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's just a
Not for me.
like a virtual tabletop card game board game.
I see.
Yeah,
Virtual RPG.
I don't really.
So the part of it that appeals to me, if I'm being honest here, you know, Saint Michael aside, you would look cool playing it. You know, people be like, "What the fuck? Like, that's not kid stuff, man."
That guy must be smart.
Yeah, it's like when you're navigating the ridiculously convoluted menus of Final Fantasy VIII, and you're like junctioning magic and shit. I mean, it looks like looks like you're doing work, you know.
Speaking of pretending to be smart, I started taking my chess lessons today.
You're frozen, and it's really funny. I'm so sorry, Tech. Your image is frozen. You're just lighting up. You're lighting up. Your frame is lighting up with this. It's like the original Star Trek. The captain who can only speak with like the light that like turns on and off. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know how to get it to stop, so I'm not really sure.
Oh no! It's,
there we go. There we go.
Darn it!
You're all good now.
Anyway, I played a game. I played most of the time when I'm doing chess stuff, I'm either playing against the computer or like learning theory and stuff. But I played against a real human, which always makes me happy. I beat him. It was like
Easily,
some
with
person.
ease, would you say?
No, it was some person from the Czech Republic, and there were points where I was playing and I was thinking ahead, and I was like, I would like see his best move, or I say his, but I would see their best move, and I would be like. That's great. Yeah, I would see what their best move was, and then I would be like, man, if they do that, that's a problem. And then like they would spend like 2 minutes thinking, and then all of a sudden that would happen. I'd be like, God, I'm good. And so yeah, but what I didn't realize at some point, I said out loud to myself, I was like, this guy's better than me. He was rated slightly higher, but I didn't realize that like not very long into the game, I was actually basically winning the whole time. I did an assessment afterwards that kind of shows like who's in control and who's not or whatever, and like I had the upper hand most of the time, so it was really nice, and I checked.
You made the White Queen run so fast. Would you say?
Oh, that was the thing. I played as black, which I just have zero experience playing as black. Oh, totally different fucking game, and it was really weird and freaking me out.
I have to grab some more
voice
coffee
chat?
real quick. I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna do this.
There was no voice chat, but it was cool. After the game was over, it said, "Congratulations," and then I said, "Good game."
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so
They
that was
didn't like
nice.
unplug their internet connection like right before they
Yes.
like.
No, I would get credit for the win if that happened. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, you can always cheat on an online chess because you can just open a chess engine in a second window, you know.
Just gonna ask you that.
Yeah, but so when people do that, if you do that consistently, it what happens is there's like a percentage called accuracy. It shows like what percentage of the time were you making accurate moves, like basically like best or correct or excellent moves.
Yeah.
Like I've played 15 games of online chess, and like I think most of the time I was always in like 15% accuracy. Like I think I got to 40% accuracy one time. This game I played 86% accuracy, which was far and away my best game. So I was really excited about it. But people that cheat, their accuracy is always like in the upper 90s, and just no one plays that accurately all the time. Even like grandmasters, like when you're playing at the grandmaster level, like you're playing people that cause you to not be able to make the best moves all the time. So
they know.
So you just report them, and then chess.com like figures it out, and they're like, yeah, fuck this guy. Anyway, it was really fun. And I was glad I won. And I wanted to play 2 games because I would like to play 2 games a day, but I have too much shit to do. Ended on a high note. But anyway, Riley asked, "What is your favorite chess piece?" I like rooks. Bishops. I'm a big bishop guy.
Bishopman.
I'm a bishopman. What can I say? They're cool because they're like snipers. They're like you can sit them over in the corner and then like they'll just be chilling.
The L guys or the diagonal guys?
They're diagonal, and it's hard because if you get really focused on one portion of the board, like top left or something, and there's a whole lot of action going on, and you start thinking too hard about that, and then they make a move somewhere up there. They don't realize that they're like on an open bishop line, and then your bishop can just, and they're like, "Fuck, I didn't see that," you know.
Nice.
How do you get paired with people the same skill level on chess.com? How does that work? Is it just your record, or?
Chess uses something called an ELO, ELO. It's not an acronym. It's named after a guy.
It's called Electric Light Orchestra. And
yes. And the ELO system basically does like a math equation that everybody starts off at, I think, like 400. And when you play someone who is better than you or has a higher score than you, and you beat them, it does an equation that determines how many points you go up, how many points they go down. And I mean, if you were to like lose to somebody with a really high elo, it wouldn't like affect you. It wouldn't affect your score. But so it basically finds people in the system with a similar elo score, and then matches you up with them, which is.
That's cool. Sorry, I was just too busy seeing James's face in the single frame appearing.
No, I know. Look, I knew it was gonna come off like that, but I was just trying to make an entrance again, and that's why I stopped doing it, Tech. I'm very sorry. I know I can be a little irreverent, you know.
Well, nothing can top you guys reading the thesaurus while Kevin is trying to talk about 544p or whatever on PSP.
Yes, and if everyone would like to see that kind of hilarious stuff, make sure you check out our 1-year anniversary special with all the funniest clips of all time.
Oh yeah, we've been doing this for so long.
I know. Do you think we'll have enough good enough content to do one of those for YouTube?
No. Just taking a bunch of clips from the anniversary special. Like remember last year?
Yeah, like I showed this last year, but I'm showing it again. You know.
I've been working on a coffee table book with all the thumbnails in a high quality glossy coffee table book that features 600 DPI printing of that same screenshot of you guys that you hate seeing every week that I've been using for over a year.
Remember that old James Quall? A lot of the same things keep happening again. Spaghetti and meatballs.
Speaking of which, that's the one chess opening I know is the Italian game. That's the
marinara.
In FIA 64, it's you can decide how long the game is in advance. I play a 15-minute game, which takes longer than 15 minutes. Each player has 15 total minutes to make all their moves.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's scary when you get low on time.
I wouldn't be afraid, I don't think.
What if like you had to put your hand in a peripheral that was only purchasable by chess.com and like
Keep going.
it like it started like inflicting pain after like your time was up.
You haven't seen Dune yet, and you're coming up with this stuff, dude. You gotta get out there.
This is a great.
I looked
Heat
at
upon
showtimes, Mark. I haven't been to a theater since God, I don't even know, but I'm gonna try to go see Dune in the theater.
If you're gonna see anything in the theater, go see Dune. I mean, that was worth it for me. Yeah, everyone's all vaxxed up now. It's all good, you know. Just
we just packed into that venue and just sprayed COVID all over each other for
basically
12 hours. So
my friend saw Dave Chappelle's block party in a theater, and it was her and one other guy, and the guy lit up a blunt and smoked the whole thing in the theater.
That's tight. Oh, we got an error, folks.
Fatal.
Oh, let's see.
Fatal
let's see if we can
error.
figure this out.
some error.
Fatal error. Yes, an error message description about what type of error happened and what the user should do.
Now let's see what's new from Windows. Fatal error.
All right, here we go. Hopefully that
That's
doesn't
better than
pop
like-
up again throughout the night.
How long till Windows starts adopting the like the Discord like, oops, epic fail. Like you had a system.
I mean, they already do the blue screen of death has had the :dash parenthesis frowny face for like since like Windows 8 or something. Heck, I'm scared. Amateurs playing. It's over now. Oh, Zach Bowden busted. I ripped this from Zach Bowden's YouTube
Docs
channel.
right
Sorry,
here.
Zach.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for the assist.
When Macs give you their version of the blue screen of death, it's so scary. It's in like 5 different languages, and it's just like this gray thing that comes down. It's
Yeah,
just
with
like
the power.
you have to turn off your computer. You have to do this. It's like okay. Blue screen doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
But when that happens on a Mac, it's like really bad. Usually, it's like something that's
Yeah,
recurring.
it's so
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
so
never ever
uncommon,
see it.
Yeah.
it's true.
Because you used to see it more in the past, I will admit, but I have definitely not seen it for years. This is what it looks like for those who don't know. This
Yeah,
will just
oh my
appear
God.
in the center of your screen, and it's like, my GPU is fried, or like that means that like your
Yeah,
hardware
something-
has failed, basically.
Then you need to bake it in the oven like Kevin does every 2 years or whatever after you see that. Has that ever happened to you guys where that comes up and then it starts beeping in like 3 intervals or
Oh.
something like that?
Yeah, on my old
Beeps.
Mac Pro.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me.
It's
And
like
it
a
actually
brain
happened while I
failure.
was away from my apartment for like a month. And it was beeping for days before like the landlord had to pull the power to my apartment. Because like,
Oh my
people were like,
god.
what's going on in that apartment? Like,
Oh,
it's just
whoa.
beeping
my
endlessly.
God.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. I felt kind of bad that it was going for so long. Yeah.
Why was your computer on for days while you were gone?
I thought it was asleep. I don't know. I can't remember. It was like 8 years ago or something. But
Well, figure
yeah,
it out.
probably should have turned it off. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Well, it's okay, Mark.
You eating, Tech?
Yeah, dude.
No, it's cool. I'm just. What do you eat? I'm sorry. That sounded real judgy.
No,
It's all good.
Okay. I feel guilty about it, but
Oh, nice.
You know, I was gonna guess Nutter Butters for some reason, so I was
Solid
in the
food.
same
Yeah.
like Y-axis, but like wrong on the
Pieces.
X-axis. Yeah.
I just had like a weird taste in my mouth. I didn't like it. It's like something good in there.
Did you were talking shit about me while I was gone?
Mm-hmm.
So we've all been back in our homes for a few days now after our big successful show, the 100% Electronica showcase as part of the Levitation Music Festival in Austin, Texas, which was a blast. Thanks again to 100% Electronica for inviting us out there. I would love to know what is, for the 3 of us, sorry Mark, since you were
Okay.
getting unnecessary dental surgery done, you wouldn't know anything about this. I want to know, what is your favorite thing that you've done since you've gotten home? And my guess for Tech is that it was probably beating that opponent in chess.
Ooh.
Did anything better than that happen to you since you've returned to your home?
No, I don't think so. I think that would be the best. My car doesn't start, so it hasn't been great.
All right, y'all. We're gonna put that on pause. Hold on a second here. Let me just we can get this up here. Let's do.
I'm feeling mild discomfort right now. Oh, okay, we're switching. All right.
Car watch.
Nice.
Wait a second. Hold on. Check this out.
Thanks.
I ordered groceries to be delivered, and I ordered baking soda and a toothbrush to be delivered to me, so that I could clean the battery terminal on the car.
Does that actually work? Sorry.
Well, so batteries over time on the fucking where it connects.
Corrodes.
It gets this corrosion that just builds up everywhere, and then eventually there's too much corrosion. Yeah, it's disgusting. It does not taste good either. And it causes all kinds of, I don't know, it causes basically the car won't start. So I was like, all right, well, I looked up online how to deal with it, but basically you have to use water with baking soda, but you need to disconnect the negative and positive from the battery first, and I don't have a tool that can do that, so I didn't use the baking soda. I just scrubbed it with a toothbrush. It did not work, nor should it. So I hopefully tomorrow I figure out some sort of way to acquire a ratchet and a new battery, and then.
So the same thing happened to Christina's car. I swear to God, a month ago, it was the same shit. And her dad came over, and because he had the tool. And he was like, "You got any baking soda?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." And so I made a mixture of baking soda and water, and he
did it work?
So it did, and then she drove the car to work the next day, and she was really excited because her friend's boyfriend has this beach house, so she and her girlfriends were all going to spend the weekend there, and she was the driver because none of them have cars, so she was super excited that her car worked again. And then work is over, they put all their stuff in her car won't start. So it did not work. He did he cleaned it and then put in a new battery, and then it did not work. And then she had to get a new alternator. She needed a new alternator, which is funny because my joke is, whenever anyone's like, "Yeah, I was having trouble with my car," it's if there are any men nearby, they're always like, "Yeah, sounds like the alternator to me, yeah." Because I know that charges the battery. That's the one car part that I know about. So that's what I think. But this time it actually was, which was pretty exciting. So there you go.
Well, I hope it's not that, but
this was a joke.
I hope
here.
it's just the battery.
You had what delivered, Tech?
Baking soda and a toothbrush.
But they were
from GoPuff.
They were. Oh,
you say
yes. They were groceries.
Thank you. And X takes the square. All right, so Tech, I really appreciate that update here. That was Tech's Car Walk 2022. All right, so that was your least favorite thing that happened. Wait, hold on. So your car, you didn't actually use your car to go to the airport. You took an Uber, so your car was still sitting at home waiting for you.
Oh, yeah. One last thing. So the Uber ride to this. Oh, am I frozen? Nope, maybe.
No, I can hear you. You're good.
So I had to make an emergency Uber ride to the Cincinnati airport. And that sucked because it cost $90. But what sucked much more was coming home. When I was walking around the Cincinnati airport, I was looking for an app ride pickup location. And when you're in airports, oftentimes you'll just see signs like it'd be like for shuttle buses this way, taxi service this way, ride sharing this way. Yeah. But they had all these, but no app based ones. No Uber, no Lyft, no app, anything. And I was like, what the fuck?
Where do I go?
So then I went over to like the taxi location. Like, I mean, this is the only one that's gonna fucking go all the way to where I live, which is pretty far out of the way. And this nice guy came up and he was like, "Are you looking for a taxi?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I can get you." And I was like, "All right." So then I rode a taxi, and then at the end when I was like, "How much is it?" He's like, "It's $250."
Oh my god.
So I ended up spending more on the trips to and from the airport than the actual fucking plane ticket from Cincinnati to Austin.
Oh my
I did not
god.
use it. Just so you know, James, I did not use the Ghost Diamond account because I didn't
but
want
you
you to
should have.
have.
That's awful.
But
But
yeah,
so I
nice.
have a very similar story though, Tech. I have paid more for a taxi if it makes you feel better, because the first time I went to Japan, January of 2018, when I was just a babe in the woods, had never really traveled out of the country, definitely not by myself. So I roll into Narita, and I'm like, cool, I'm at the airport. What do you do when you're at an airport? You take a cab to your hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that Narita is a city that is not Tokyo.
Not Tokyo.
That's
God.
very far away. Like, definitely as easily as far as where you live is from your
God.
airport. And so so I give the guy the address, and he's all giddy, you know, like, ooh, sure, I'll take you there. And I'm just sitting in the back, just like, just watching this fare go up and up, and I'm like, because I still don't, you know, my brain doesn't understand yen fully yet, so I'm like, that's like $28, right? You know, like, look at my, and then I see it, it's like, oh no, it's already, you know, passing $200. And I can just like, I feel like flush, and like my face go red. And I'm just like, you gotta let me out. Like, wherever I am, like, I'll figure it out, man. Just please, God, let me out. But yeah, it ended up costing, yeah, I guess it was somewhere between $200 and $300. So I guess it was about the same.
Jesus Christ.
And it sucked, cause like for Christmas, like my parents gave me a couple $100, you know, like, here, this is for your trip, you know, like, if you have any emergencies. I just fucking blew it, like right off the rip, and then I had to walk an hour and a half to get to the hospital, but it was fine because I was like in Japan for the first time, just like, I will walk forever. But yeah, so don't feel too bad. I've been there.
Well, I thought about that story when it was happening, because I was like, oh, man, I don't know what's gonna happen here. But like, and there was no thing counting upward. Like, it was really weird. Like, it was a taxi service, but it was just strange. But yeah, there's no I couldn't think of any kind of alternative. I mean, like, other than, I guess, like, paying a taxi to drive me to like a nearby McDonald's and then calling an Uber from there or something. Maybe that's what I should have done. But it was weird though, because I had $100 in cash in my wallet, and if you're anything like me, cash is just free money. Just, it's not part of your real money. It's like, it's its own little world. And so I was able to like pay $100 on that, and so it was only $150 out of my actual account. But still fucking sucked. So
you gotta give a shout out to Wit Music in the chat real quick. Wit Music. Wit came to the show, which was awesome, because Wit is just a staple of the New World Mixtape Club's Discord server. So I told him it was like meeting a celebrity. It was like, you know, just like a mind-melting, like, whoa, I thought you were your avatar, and that instead of speaking, just text came out. It's like a brutally psychedelic experience. You know, like the first time I met Molotovich from Rainy Cakes was the same way. It's like, you're real. The first time I heard Pad Chennington's voice in real life, like, you know, what's poppin'? I'm like, whoa.
Did he say that?
Psychedelic. I'm sorry, Kevin. What were you saying?
Go ahead.
What?
What's the most you've ever paid for a taxi, Kevin?
Oh, geez. So probably like the first time I went to George's house from the airport. I don't know what the deal was. It was like rush hour, and I pulled up my phone, and like there were taxis there, and then I was like looking at Uber, and my phone battery was like really low, and I was like looking at the times for the cab or the Uber, and it was gonna be longer than I wanted to sit around and wait. And I didn't know about the shuttle bus back then, and I just jumped into the first taxi that I saw. And it was rush hour, so it's just like, we're just sitting on the expressway, and I just see
tick.
I just see it keep ticking up, and I'm just like, dear God. So I think it was about $110 or something.
Yeah.
To get to George's house from the airport.
Mark, do they have taxis in Canada?
Yeah, they're kind of like similar to what you would know as dog sleds, but
it's funny enough.
Commission them.
I went to Toronto with my family when I was 6 or 9 or some shit, and we saw Phantom of the Opera. It was incredible. And I remember for some reason we rode a rickshaw there.
Nice.
So I think my question is valid.
We have a thing called kabuki cabs, which is like a bicycle that has a trailer on it with people.
Yes.
Yeah, on the back.
There you go.
I think every city has that though.
Yeah. And down by the lake in downtown, we get those.
We saw some party kabukis driving around Austin with all kinds of neon lights and trap music playing.
Yeah, Miami has that.
Those are in
too.
Chicago too.
Philadelphia has that dumb fucking paddle boat thing, doesn't it? Philadelphia?
The duck boat?
The duck boat.
Yeah. There was one in Philly, but it sank and killed
It
someone,
sank.
I think. Yeah.
Somebody died. Yeah.
That reminds me, actually. Do you guys? This is like very Vancouver lore, but have you ever heard of the Mick Barge? Does that
I'm
mean
about to
anything
look it
to any
up.
of you? Okay, there's like it's kind of a very apocalyptic vaporwave-ish kind of vibe. It's like a McDonald's barge that was like a marine McDonald's that ended up just falling apart and being like abandoned for decades and floating like just down.
Whoa, that is
I did
sick.
hear about that.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
it kind of had its some time in the limelight of world news kind of thing, but yeah, it was a McDonald's for a very brief time for like Expo 86 or something like that.
Oh my
I
god.
love it. Oh, I would live in this place and just have maritime
Well, I think people
adventures.
would go on there and like I don't know,
Fornicate.
treat it like international waters, but it's just in like a small bay. It's not very.
It's like
Yeah.
Arrested Development for the maritime law. You just have to be
Yeah.
X amount of miles offshore. Damn, that's sick.
That's super cool.
McBarge.
Yeah.
Hey, it could happen.
There are party boats here too, and like I think, I don't know, it's actually been moved to like a boat graveyard of some kind, more inland. But when it was on there, people would definitely board it and raid it and like ransack it and stuff like that, and
Nice.
have a fire on the roof. And yeah.
Smoke
Maybe
weed
this-
in there.
In 2022, it was reported that there were plans to refit the barge into a seafood restaurant, though a location had not been secured. Later in 2021, it was reported that an undisclosed site had been selected but was awaiting government approval. So you might see the McBarge come roaring back to life, which would be great. I question its seaworthiness, though.
Theta VHS says it looks like a pre-rendered still of a point-and-click adventure game.
It certainly
They're
does.
very much right. Man,
Wow.
awesome.
That barbed wire fence is just so apocalyptic. Like, this is the
Yeah.
last,
There,
like, zombie-safe bastion.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
We got Final Fantasy VIII background.
Mm.
Yeah, this is in False Creek, and everyone kind of has like there's little ferry taxis that go around, and a lot of people have kayaks, so it'd be really easy to board that. So I guess that's why they put the fence up. But you could even swim to it, though I doubt people would do that. But yeah,
Kevin, that was a really great idea. Here, I have just the most incredible idea that I've ever had in my entire life. 1 second.
I keep thinking you're using Windows 11 in the background.
No, come on.
Yeah, he's searching sounds in the settings. It must be cool.
Check this out. Check this out. This is gonna be so tight.
Nice.
So if this were in Final Fantasy VIII, it would be like
Fisherman's Horizon.
You wouldn't be able to run there, and then you'd come here, and you could run here, and he'd get like this big when he came to here.
Yeah.
And then he would get small again as he ran towards the back, and then this little slit here would be the only door that you could go through. But it's sick because there's.
It's like a draw point on the other side, and that's it. It's just
that's what I'm saying. Like you've gone through the rest of the complex, you come out this door, and then it's really difficult to get your thumb to do the like. He keeps wanting to spin around here, but if you get it just right, he'll go over here and then be able to draw like 11 sleeps or something that you don't even need.
I'm gonna put a video in the Skype chat. It's kind of humorous.
I think I know the video. I know the video you're going to post.
The video, Mark.
Wow, look at this just incredible control panel they have going here. That just looks fantastic.
Device failed to connect.
That's great. Beautiful design there. They got the big play button that's taller than the T in test, and then just right up next to it. It's just perfect design. A lot of thought, a lot of care. You know, it's, when people care, you know. Can you, Kevin? Can you? You're on Windows, aren't you? You can't.
Skype.
So sorry.
I don't even know how to. It's a disaster.
Immersion broken.
Let's see here.
That's not Windows 11.
Yes, it is.
I wish I could have come with you guys to visit.
Yeah, that would have been a lot of fun.
Or play. I don't think.
Are you allowed to?
Actually, I think they just recently opened it up, but I'm not really traveling anywhere.
You were talking about this.
Turn the sound on. You're gonna love it.
Yeah, you need the sound on.
It's too fucking accurate. What a great video.
Wow, how do you like run like that without moving enough? Oh my god.
What frame rate is that?
So good. I like how there's 2 Irvines.
That's cool though. Makes me want to play it.
Yeah.
This is almost as good as the Oblivion NPC video. Where the guy jumps into the swimming pool.
He's got the one where he's got the blackout eye contacts.
It just keeps going. Oh my god. Oh my god.
The camera panning is spot on.
I always love it when it's like a seamless transition that instantly loads and just changes the camera angle versus that slow fade out. It's like, wow, that's so incredible that they could achieve that.
That was fantastic.
With the background. Yeah.
See if we can.
Oh, here we go.
Find the. Oh, there's all kinds of crap out there. The one where the guy's in the swimming pool. That's the best if you ever find that video. But we're not going to go hunting for that today.
Yeah, when people can physically act and imitate the awkward
everywhere, all over.
movement, it's like an incredible skill to have.
No time for you.
There's a really good Skyrim NPC one that may or may not be super similar.
Welcome
There's
back,
one
my
in
friend.
Shibuya where the guy's running around.
When you can!
And, it's just you forget how awkward video games are.
Oh, that one. It took me a while to even realize that he was that was not a video game.
The Shibuya one?
Shibuya one, yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys can't hear the sound.
Unless you need something, let's continue on to Wayne on Priory.
It's pretty funny stuff.
This is reminding me actually bit of a tangent here, sorry, but you guys know VR, right? You know virtual reality.
I think so. I've talked at length about the VR Dawn.
What?
You guys like VR, right? You have a
Yes.
PS. No one here owns VR except for James has PSVR, right? Is that
I
I
have
have PSVR.
You both have PSVR. Okay. Is there anything like PlayStation Home or whatever it was, but with VR on there?
No. There's
Okay,
not.
well, this past weekend, I was visiting Denver, friend of the show, Denver Jackson, and I finally went to the island and hung out with him in his studio, and he has an Oculus Rift.
Oh,
And
sick.
in the Oculus Rift store, there's
the metaverse or meta or whatever.
it's like the proto metaverse, honestly. There's one thing where you can go into a VR movie theater and you're there with like in public with random strangers online, and you can go and watch like Top Gun in a theater with fucking strangers, and they can talk in the theater.
Whoa.
Well, that was supposed to happen in home.
Mhm.
You were supposed to be able to do that in PlayStation Home.
I didn't believe that it was that like connected, I guess, and like free. So Denver booted it up, and we're just talking in his room, and then this fucking dude wearing like a fedora and with a neck beard, but he looks like he's in the Miiverse or whatever. He's like, who are you talking to? And then we're all just like, dude, what the fuck? And then he walks over, and then he starts talking to us about VR and how cool it is for like honestly over 10 minutes, and it was like hard to get away because you were engaged with this guy like a real conversation.
But you can always just pull the plug on your console, though. See, that's the
Denver
beauty.
said that he did that in the past. He was like, he tried this once, and he's like, he just went up to someone and was like, hello, and then they looked at him, and he just quit the whole program because he was too intimidated by being in that shared 3D space. And then if you leave the theater, you can go into this VR chat realm, and there's like portals that you enter, and you go into spaces with like thousands of strangers, and it's like you can interact with them, and it's horrifying and amazing. And
Well, that should be the future, but it is stupid to me because the whole point of VR to me is to get fucking away from all these fucking assholes. And so if everybody's gonna be plugged in, then it's just, well, what the fuck is the point of me coming here?
Well,
I think if there is like a neutral, non-proprietary version of the metaverse that's like has laws like net neutrality and things like that, I think it's going to be like Ready Player One type shit, like sooner than we thought. I mean, because this VR chat thing, like, it was rudimentary and it was loaded with bullshit, obviously. And like, I went into one room and it's just like a bunch of giant 3D like furry foxes like talking about petting each other, and that's totally fine. And then I go into another room and there's like a bunch of Metal Gear Solid characters just like whispering and saying weird shit. I'm just standing there watching them. I was also a giant cactus in this game. And then I went into another room and it was like an island, and it was like a beautiful like nighttime like island with a lighthouse, and there was like people just like sitting there really tenderly talking to each other, and like somebody came up and like gave me a hug, and they were like, thank you, I feel loved. And it was this oddly like tender moment. It wasn't like weird or sexual or anything. It was like it was just so weirdly immersive. I did not expect to like be this like moved by VR. Weird.
That's kind of cool.
VR,
I mean, that's like
chat.
an old school online experience, because we were just so amazed that we could chat online back in the day. Like I remember being on like IRC in like 1998 or 9 or whatever, and just like making having relationships, like
Do you have an
friendly
internet
relationships.
girlfriend?
I never had online girlfriend, no. But just
Sham
like,
Mark sent me a couple pics of his like.
Sham F85 was mine. Online girlfriend. Sham
that's your online girlfriend that just popped up in front of you?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my god.
Stop it, Kevin. That's really rude. What was her name, Tech? You want me to look her up?
Sham F85. I was
Sham F85?
Yeah, we would have.
Don't
I
dox
would think
them.
we're the same age. Don't dox. It was a fucking like AOL username from like.
There's a Sham F85 on YouTube. I'm gonna check it out real quick. Joined March 2nd, 2008. Only one video up here.
Oh, Whip Music says, have you seen the video where a war vet tells a story in VR chat? No, but I'm gonna look that up later because
There's a series on YouTube of people. It's this guy goes around. He talks to people in VR about really serious things, and they tell kind of anecdotes that are just like like either about abuse or just really really intense conversations. They talk at length, very openly, and it kind of is that way because the VR creates a barrier that allows people to be a little more open about things. And so there's a YouTube channel that has like a lot of that.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. The coolest online VR experience that I've had personally was Star Trek Bridge Commander, which is a PSVR game. It's one of the fucking sickest games ever because there's someone at tactical, there's someone at engineering, there's someone at navigation, and then there's a captain, right? And everyone has to work together, just like on the bridge of a real starship from the Star Trek universe. So it's like, so the captain is the only one who knows the orders. So they're pulling the strings, and they can see information that everyone else can't see. So it's like, okay, we need to go to X planet, and so the navigator has to, plot the course. And then engineering has to route power from other systems to navigation so that you can, warp to that place. You play online though, and you just get one job. So you're just at tactical.
Damn.
And you're playing with like 3 other people. And it was so cool because it was...
You have to work with them. Like you actually have to work with
like at first everyone was
space.
just, clearly, kind of freaked out, but like chill enough. But the missions are procedurally generated, so you never know where you're gonna go or what you're gonna have to do exactly. But by the end of it, like everyone was like kind of role playing a little bit, and like kind of like haha, we're role playing, but like clearly like this is so fucking sick that I'm like at tactical right now. Like red alert.
There's a funny thing about modern NBA 2K games. When you create your like my career mode, when you create a player, you start off at basically like the lowest rating that you can start off as a rookie, like you're like 60 or whatever out of 99. And like I've made myself, the first time I played a game like this, I made myself the point guard, and the point guard in basketball is the one who takes the ball up the court and kind of is the one who like you're always kind of like, you're like the quarterback of a basketball team, basically. So when I would, like, they would sub me in, I would be able to play, because you can only control as yourself. You don't switch players. You play as you, the point guard you made. But I recently, like, played a version, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be a point guard this time. I'll be something else. So I made myself a small forward who is not like a quarterback. He waits to be passed to. But the problem was that you're like level 60, so you're not a starter. So if you actually don't simulate like through these parts, you literally are sitting on the bench while the computer plays a game. and then like you can sim through that, but you can also just chill.
That's tight though. And then, like smoke a bowl.
Yeah, it's sick. Right, but when they sub you in, you're fucking level 60. Like no one on the team wants you to fucking do anything because you're not good. And you're not the point guard, so you don't have the ball, so you're just like running around, and nobody ever, like, you might get the ball like once.
I'm open!
Yeah,
I'm open, guys!
Misses because you suck. And then like a minute and a half later, they're like, all right, the starters have rested. You go back to the bench, and you're like, well, how do I get better? Like, you can only get better by actually playing, so it's like really weird.
Is it online?
You can do, when you can do 2K games online where you just play as one person, and they have like leagues and teams and stuff. It's really cool.
So
anyway,
could you have a meaningful connection with somebody in that game?
Oh.
Okay.
Just make like a decent nuts joke at you, or tell you that they like banged your mom or something.
That's sort of what I was expecting in
I've
VR.
made
There was a bit of that.
My most meaningful real life connections I made in MMORPGs, specifically Final Fantasy XI. That's where I met.
Some more.
The reason I moved to Philadelphia was because I met friends in Final Fantasy XI that were like really cool, and like we talk about Radiohead and make fun of like what nerds everyone else was, and I was like, wow, these people are actually they're cool like I am. And then I actually like came out to Philly and met them. It was like, oh, cool, yeah, this is chill.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
I would not hang out with the people I play Destiny with.
What was the one video on Sham F85's page?
Oh yeah.
What?
You said that there was one video on Sham F85's YouTube channel.
Oh, I'll send it to you later. It's weird. It's like it's from like 2007, and it's just like 3 girls shot with like a very old camera phone, like doing some weird dance. I would bet you it's your old online girlfriend though, because first off, that's a pretty unique username.
Who else would have that?
And it's like age appropriate, because you both would have
It's
been
only
in
8
your,
years.
you
Yeah,
both would have been in your like.
What if they're
mid-twenties.
talking about you in the video, Tech?
Destiny. Be Destiny.
I had an online crush when I played EverQuest back in the day, and I even wrote a song about my online crush from my first HCMJ album.
Is it Kelvin at Night?
Did you know what they
No,
looked
that-
like?
Possibly, maybe
Or did you
not.
just imagine the most beautiful woman you've ever seen?
Yeah, it was hard to say. It was hard to say. But we used to have some good adventures together in EverQuest.
My friend, she's about to meet up with someone from Montreal or something that she's been playing online games with for a couple of years now. So the magic is still happening there. It's
Wow.
a good space to make a connection, especially because if they're good at the game, and you can work well together for like over a year, it's a good
Sure.
foundation for a relationship, probably.
Well, I would say that the most important relationships that I ever cultivated online are with Kevin and Mark.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You guys
I'd
are
say that.
online buds, you know?
Yeah.
And we
true.
didn't even meet
Sure.
until we were in Japan. It was
That-
too late to go back.
That is wild to think about. That is a pretty strong bond to meet overseas and hope you don't get killed or whatever.
Right.
And look at us now. We stream together all the time. We tell jokes. We stay in Airbnbs together, you know?
So if you get a
Yeah.
weird email in your spam inviting you to go somewhere, you should answer that email.
Yeah,
Maybe.
always.
Go meet up with them.
Don't
Don't
think
do that.
twice. Just
Don't think-
do it.
Don't-
If you get an email for gas station dick pills, put in your credit card number.
Just-
What?
Gas station big pills.
Yeah.
Now
Well, you
available
never know when this
online.
guy's gonna pop up.
It's cool.
He's the best
I
looking
liked
guy
when he
here.
was like real small.
That legit does look like a scene from like Balam Garden or something.
HD fan remake. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played. There was
Okay.
Tech, if you'll recall, at the so right above the question mark at the top of that terrace there, you could play chess. There were chessboards. You could sit
Oh.
down and play chess. I
I
fucking
know where I'm hanging.
I loved home so much because
It's awesome.
like Missed before it, it's like there's like handrails, but like they didn't need to be there, but they're there, you know, because it's
Super New World.
echoing
Extremely
reality. It's the ultimate new world, and the shitty little apartment with my I had the desk from Final Fantasy 13. Like a giant wooden desk. I don't know which character it belonged to, but it was part of the Final Fantasy 13 shit. Along
Kevin
with
must know.
like an 80s computer. There was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle bullshit that had an 80s style terminal computer, and then a bunch of pizza boxes.
It was so like weird and like bad but awesome. I just specifically remember the first night that like James and I ever played it. We were together in Philadelphia. I think we were in Philadelphia.
No, it was
PS3.
at Valley Street. Is where I had it.
I just don't remember doing it there. But anyway, the point is that we were just like, I was laughing so hard that like my stomach hurt and I kept crying laughing because it was so whack. there was just so much about it that was just like, I don't know.
Like if PSVR took off, I think PlayStation Home would be around still. Or
well, here's my question: have you ever used VR chat? Played on VR chat?
No.
I think that's what I was in on Oculus for part of it.
Okay,
I tried a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
So that's been around. But I've never actually done it. But that's what I've heard about that concept or whatever. So I was just wondering if maybe, but if you're saying that's what you were in, then that makes sense.
I know I was talking about two different things, but the VR chat was the second one that I was in, and you can make a space, like you could remake your house and invite strangers into it and just be there and talk to them.
But you were talking about two things. So did you do VR chat on Oculus?
Oculus, yeah. It was Oculus Rift in the.
And what was the other thing you were talking about?
There's a movie theater that you can. That's like you can go and rent movies in. Yeah, but it was VR and there were strangers in it. But it was like using like Miiverse kind of graphics. But in the VR chat, you can have a super detailed anime titty girlfriend kind of vibe if you want, or you can be like a tiny car. There's a guy who rode up to me in like a BMW. He's like, "I'm a car." I'm like, "Yes, you are, man. Well, have a good night."
Nice.
Yeah. It's like being in public. It's really weird. Yeah.
He's like, "I'm a car."
There's also karaoke. There's karaoke as well, and like, it's like everything that gets like wigs you out about doing karaoke with friends or in public. It's like stripped away, and you can just sing your heart out to strangers in a virtual space with as good of a quality mic as you can afford. And it's like, we went into some booths and sat there and listened. I didn't sing though. I was too scared.
Still too nervous. Yeah.
I did karaoke the night that I got back from Philly, and there was two tables. It was me and some friends that were out of town from Seattle, and then his local boys, and then there was this other table of like friends that I guess were like new to Chicago or were just like touring Chicago. But I only got one song in, and it was Mr. Brightside by the Killers.
Wow,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I think it went off.
Yeah, I did karaoke with my friend in Japan, Yuki. You remember Yuki? Because it wasn't that time. We went like a separate time into an actual like karaoke room, and she was like a member. You know, she's just like, just let me scan.
That's like her hobby.
Quick. Yeah. And I just choked. All my choices were so bad for karaoke. Like I did "Newborn" by Muse was on there.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah, how are you gonna karaoke Muse, dude?
And these like, well, I was trying to show off a little bit, you know, but I could only like kind of pull it off because that song was really difficult to sing. And also just has extended instrumental sections. It's all like karaoke'd out. And when it was all over, she was like, "Yeah, I learned about some new music tonight." Yes, that was a fail. But it was.
Was
that the Matrix there? Sorry, was that the Matrix in that video thing that we were just... Is that the Matrix?
No, this is just... So these are all items and locations that you can purchase. That's more like the Scarface mansion.
That looks like the fight scene in the Matrix Reloaded. With the vampires.
It's similar.
And the werewolf.
As you can see, there are no weapons hanging on the wall. That's your clue that it's more of a nod to Scarface than it is the Matrix.
Well, that's because Neo already used them. Anyways, carry on, Tech. Sorry.
That's because Neo... already used all the weapons. My goodness, you are.
Well, I karaoke a couple of years ago, and whenever I karaoke, I usually just try to do Garth Brooks, because I know them like I know Garth Brooks songs like super well, and they're not that hard to sing, and it's funny I think to see a tall, pale, skinny, hipster-looking doofus go up and do country music. But, you know, you gotta know the audience, too. Probably wouldn't do it at, like, a hip bar.
You gotta play the room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got wasted the night that I was doing karaoke. And I spent $100 at the bar I bought everybody in the karaoke zone shots.
Oh my god.
Got a tray of shots, and I was just handing them out and laughing the whole time.
Jesus. James, what are you doing?
$300 cat home.
So those are all images of locations and items from PlayStation Home. I'm trying to find this desk.
Oh.
I want this to be my background.
Racking my brain about desks from the Final Fantasy 13 series, and I can't think of a single one.
I know.
Wait, what about that house you're in? That what is the kid's name? Snow or Hope or Snowflake or something? It's like.
Hope's rich parents' house.
Must be in their house.
It's like immaculately decorated. It's
gotta be
really,
in their
really
house.
cool.
I remember you showed me like 30 pictures of the house. I'm like, looks great, man.
I remember that place.
It's sick.
I watched the YouTube video that was 10 hours long of Final Fantasy 13. I never played it.
Nice.
So, I like the story and everything about it. It's really cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm out. I'm out on that. It's all good.
There's a really cool couch.
Not a table though.
There's a weird zone before you fight the final boss, and it's just this weird kind of white room that doesn't match the decor of anything else. And then there's like a really cool floating couch, and it's actually like used in the promo image for Final Fantasy 13. It's like lightning sitting on the couch.
I know exactly the couch you're talking about. I'll never forget that image.
Yeah.
It was so sick. I was like, who is this girl? She's so cool.
I just want to be friends with her.
You can buy that couch at Nordstrom's or something.
Yeah.
It seemed to be the vibe of Final Fantasy. It's like, now there's Coleman tents and Audis and designer Gucci bags, and which is I kind of like, but it's ridiculous a bit.
I like the bios for the 15 characters. It explicitly says that Gladio hobbies include Coleman camping gear. It's like straight up, like it's the first thing on his bio. I don't remember if it's like on the official website or what, but
That's so funny.
This couch.
yeah.
God,
That's
that
cool.
couch is sick. She's so cool.
Yeah, it's weird that that room is just like right before you fight the final boss.
Oh shit! Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Nice
Sick.
pot lights here. You think that those are powered by
Hot?
Magica? Or
It's Fal'Cie power.
That's the tattoo, the tribal tattoo that everyone gets, right?
That's the Lussie. The Lussie are made by the Fal'Cie to
That's
carry
hard
out
drives.
their desires, but they don't tell you. They don't tell you what your
hard
focus
drives.
is. You just gotta figure it out.
I want to
I
play
can't
13
figure it out.
so bad.
Plot of 13 is so fucking awesome. I was
Super
all
cool.
about it when I was playing. That's like what kept me going until I just I hated it. But
It's
I will
pretty
play
cool.
it.
It falls apart like all the other Final Fantasy games at the end. It starts contradicting itself. It's like, all right, what
No,
are
you
the,
just
what
don't
are the
get it.
rules here?
You just don't
Like-
get it.
What Final Fantasy? Yeah. Well,
They do push the limits of suspension of disbelief when you're like, I don't know, even
Well,
Final Fantasy
so-
8 is like, I'm being shot in a gun to the moon, and the moon is made of
Alright,
monsters,
alright,
and it's an eyeball. It's really cool, though.
Seven is
Fairly put together at the end.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense because of the translation, but if you actually break down what happens in 7, it all makes sense.
It kind of makes
Final
sense.
Fantasy 6 too, because ever since I saw that
Six
that
makes
Magitech
sense.
armor, like I can't stop thinking about 6. Like I was talking to Christina about it and like pulling up like the Amano artwork for Kefka, and you know, like 6 is one of the sickest end bosses in any game that I've ever played.
So cool.
Yeah, 6 doesn't try to do anything too clever with
Convoluted.
the
Yeah.
with the plot. Yeah.
I hope they don't mess it up. I'm really like, I would like to replay 5 and 6
On the Pixel Remastered.
Pixel remasters. Yeah.
I played the first one, and it's solid. It's like the pixels are like on the grid, if that's what you mean. It looks
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, and the
There's
menus are
Just a couple
meh,
things.
but yeah.
A couple nitpicks. One's the map. The map is not the same resolution as the game. The text boxes are like not the same resolution.
540p.
It doesn't. Listen. I'm the biggest Final Fantasy fan that I know, but the pixel remasters, I just don't think. I don't think they're that big of. The only one to me that is like really cool is 3, because it's the only time that you're able to. The other ones, I don't get like it's pixel perfect or whatever, but like you said, the map is a different resolution, the text boxes are a different resolution, and it doesn't make sense that they all look like this. Like why is it that the characters look like, but like why do they look like the way they looked on the NES, but then like on this like essentially what is like 16-bit like Super Nintendo looking, and then why are all the effects really high quality, and the music is like way too high quality? Like it doesn't make sense.
It's a strange aesthetic. They're doing damage control for years of inconsistent aesthetics, because they've just never had all of the Final Fantasy games in one consistent aesthetic. That's true. They started the remake process with Final Fantasy 1 and 2 on WonderSwan, and then those became Final Fantasy Origin. And then 3 got the wacky 3D remake.
Right.
And they did the bullshit mobile versions for like the rest of the game. So like there really hasn't just been a consistent package that includes all of them that's widescreen.
The GBA versions, I think, are like ideal.
The GBA versions
as far as being,
you're missing all that screen real estate. It's like GBA is a 140p, so it's like it's 100 pixels less screen real estate than like the original ones. So they compensate by making the sprites like bigger, like the enemy sprites and the battle sprites are different size.
Gotcha.
But it's
I don't know. The PSP version of 1 and 2.
Yeah, I wish they would have stuck with that style, because
those are the most perfect. Oh man, we're just lucky. We are lucky that we got to experience a moment in time in which hardware limitations forced them to still make games like that, because it's the only they weren't thinking about being pixel perfect. They were just like, this is the resolution of the PSP, this is what the game is. But now they're on iPhone 12s with these crazy ass, they're on an iPad Pro with it, XDR liquid, display with insane retina resolutions. It's like, well, we got to make the text sharp, because it was never an artistic decision in the first place. It was just they were working with what they had,
Right.
It's like
those
George
were the
Lucas
first games that were true widescreen Final Fantasy, old school Final Fantasy games. Aside from 1, 2, and 4, none of the other Final Fantasy games have received a true widescreen presentation.
True, yeah.
It's pretty uncanny though.
All Square Enix has to do is stop making new Final Fantasy games, release 5-part versions of all of the previous Final Fantasy games in the style of Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
And
I'm down for that.
And make a new one every 2 years, and then after 10 years, that game's done. You move on to the next Final Fantasy. I'll die sometime around Final Fantasy VI or something, and that's it. That's all. You don't have to appeal to anyone else.
Right.
Stop giving soldiers cell phones.
That's God.
My request.
Well, you can, if you look at the history of Final Fantasy, really follows the history of humanity's relationship with ancient religious text. If you think about the Bible, for example, and the original versions of the Bible, the scrolls that were lost in the Great Fire of the Library of Alexandria, and then you had the Bible translated into Latin, and then you had the invention of the printing press, and then you had the clergy trying, to keep the Bible, the way that it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, this needs to be in King James English so everyone can read it, and now here we are, and they have youth Bibles, where it's like, Jesus woke up and was like, hey man, where are the disciples? And that's basically where we are at we have entered the
Final
timeline
Fantasy.
of the youth Bible era of Final Fantasy. So
That's a
at
good
some
comparison.
point, we'll see if they'll release the Latin scrolls. I think that for that to happen, we're going to have to wait another good decade plus before there's another call to traditionalism. Because right now it's just like, hey, wouldn't you love to play Final Fantasy on your cell phone?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's there's two things at play, and one is damage control or just cleaning up.
Yeah, it's a
the
reset.
Classic
That's
Final
what the
Fantasy
pixel
image, and two is
remasters
just,
are.
I mean, yeah, it's just consistency. Because look at the Square Enix website, for God's sake. Like, they can't even get the format right for like their box art. Like, some of it has like a console style banner on the top where it says Steam, and then some of them don't, and then some of
It's shocking. Yeah.
it's just like a random shotgun blast of bad graphic design, and I think they're just like trying to kind of homogenize it and like make a product for people that for newcomers and Final Fantasy veterans alike.
They need to hire someone whose
God,
graphic
that is-
design is their passion. If graphic design was their passion, then they would have a unique, cohesive
So Kevin, by saying
design style
that,
across all boxes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mark, but Kevin,
Oh,
when
it's
you
okay.
said that just now, when 15 came out, that was just, despite all the problems with 15 and like whatever, like when 15 finally came out, and that's how they opened the whole thing. It's like the game starts and it says, Final Fantasy for, newcomers and
Longtime fans.
and longtime fans or whatever. It was just like instant tears. Like I felt the
pretty
love
cool.
of the franchise wrapping its little fingers around my heart.
There's we didn't talk about this at all, but when we were in Philly, I had just I was at the end of Lightning Returns, and I got back to Chicago and I beat Lightning Returns, and then I was like, okay, what should I play next? 12 or 15. Tech was like, play 15. And I was like looking at all of the options available. I can play it on the Xbox Series X, the PS5, or the PC version. I've had a little bit of experience with the PC version, and I got the taste in my mouth of the 4K textures, 4K graphics, like high frame rate. You can play it at 120 frames per second. It's like,
Jesus.
I had already had that taste in my mouth, and then I was like, I'll just play the PS5 version, because I had a cracked version of an old Steam build that didn't run very well, especially when they were like high density effects on screen, like the flans especially would trigger it. It would just start dropping frames like crazy to start chugging. I looked at the price, I was like, $35, I don't know, I'll wait till a Steam sale, or just play the PS5 version. And Tech just out of nowhere gifted me the PC version of
That's
Final
right.
Fantasy 15. So
Yeah, I wanted
thank
you
you,
to
Tech,
play it.
for that generous act. I've really been enjoying the hell out of it. I'm about
I'm glad.
18 hours in now, so
I didn't have a Steam account, and I was like, I asked James, I was like, can you gift people games on Steam? He says, sure, but you got to be a friend. And so then I I made a Steam account and I entered our group chat, and I was just like, made a Steam account. What's everybody's friend names?
Nothing. Yeah, check out this gamer, Matt. That's sick as shit too.
Wow.
Dragon Quest, hell yeah. So it's it's 9:40. So let's give it another 5-6 minutes here.
Let's do it now.
You want to do it now?
Time's a flying.
Well, we can give a. So it's funny, Mark. I searched for transparent teardrop because I wanted it to look like Sean Bean was crying. But of course, tricked again.
nice.
That they, all those people making images love ska. They put it in the background on checkerboard.
They do. So let's go ahead and let's see here. How am I gonna do this? I'll pull it up like thus. This is the Neo Gaia Fantasy Weekly playlist.
I want that mat.
I know. I want them all. They're all $35, and I don't need any of them.
I know that mat can't even fit on my desk because I got a mat that size. It came with my keyboard, and it wouldn't fit on my desk. It's just too big. So I know I can't have that, but
hopefully there's a Black Friday sale on that website because I'm going to go back there and buy stuff.
I gotta log in and spend my points that I've been accumulating that they somehow haven't cleared out.
James
I got
and
that
got
scarf.
A bunch of stuff with points. You got the scarf.
I did. Yeah,
bag,
it's hanging up right
mask.
behind me.
Yeah.
I wanted that backpack so bad, but it was out of
that
stock.
backpack
Yeah.
is never coming back in stock. That's for
I know.
darn sure.
I know.
We're all Square Enix members. Are you a member, Tech? Square Enix?
I'm not.
Well,
Dude, you can
should.
register all your games. It's great. You get rewards.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't play them on the computer.
No, they don't have to be on the computer. You know when you get
they're all like-
the box and it has the code inside?
Yeah.
I don't buy the physical copies though.
oh, right.
Yeah.
You want a
I don't care.
PS5 digital
I don't
version.
care about that. Yeah, I just want a PS5.
Yeah, I wish I could just buy that for you. I tried to get you to. And like
I
in that
couldn't.
moment, I was like, I don't even fucking care. Like
I know
was
that.
serious, and you know
I
I
know.
was serious.
I know.
The moment is
I was like,
past.
no.
But
It's
when those
okay.
moments
I mean, the
come-
fact that they're still hard to find after a year is kind of insane.
the chip shortage is
Fucked
real.
All right,
First.
Mark, you're up first, Mark, and we're gonna
Asia
traverse the world.
I'm up first.
I'm talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Did I get it? Europe first. Asia.
We're gonna
second.
traverse the world of Esluna first.
All right. Yeah.
And this song is by someone named Mark Junker. Any relation?
I cheated and I PayPal friends and fam myself $50. If anybody wants to be on this playlist, just PayPal me $50. And I put my own track on our playlist where we share new music with people. Because I'm a loser, I don't know.
We do this.
We just released another track from the soundtrack today, so I thought I'd put it on there. Give it a listen. I love how it turned out. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
It's a minute
else-
and
what
55. It's a minute and 55 seconds long, so you must have worked really hard on that one.
Oh my god! Actually, so many cues. It's so hard to cut up the soundtrack into cues. It's like that's how I felt. Like I was looking at it and I was like, even just chopping them up into a track list was like I stayed up all night doing it, and then I look and like all the tracks are like the longest one is 201, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like
I will say, just real quick as an aside, long time ago, like a decade ago, when I would go to New York City a lot, and I was staying with someone's whatever, but my friend's boyfriend was this guy who had just gotten into the Manus Music Conservatory. It's one of like the toughest music conservatories to get in like the entire country, right? And he played me. He was such a dick. God, he was just so full of himself. And yeah, he played me his 30-second like micro composition or whatever. You know, it was just some fucking bullshit. And then when it was literally like 30 seconds, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it was sick, but I wasn't impressed at the time. Obviously, it was me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And when it finished playing, his arms are crossed and he's smiling. He's like, yeah, that's what it takes if you want to get into Manus. I swear to fucking God, he said that.
Wow.
I was like, man.
Oh my god.
All right, yeah, that's what it takes. Can't wait till your record drops, dude.
What a douche.
Fucking
Holy
asshole.
god.
If you're watching, I'm coming for you. Anyway, what's your second pick, Mark?
I don't know what I put on there.
Mark went to the Matrix. He plugged into the Matrix. Yeah, he took a visit to the Oracle.
I wondered where you're going with that. I
I
really did.
love it.
Okay, maybe you guys can help me out with this, but Secret of Mana Secret of Mana 2 or something was like re-released HD in the past few years. Is that right? Does anybody here know about that?
Yeah.
So the soundtrack is like very controversial because it was like totally remade by like possibly like 5 to 10 arrangers like doing, and it's like hi-fi, lo-fi, it's all over the map. And this particular song, I think it's actually was made by the original composer Hiroki Kikuta. And I listened to the original one, and it just sounds like chiptune. Doesn't really sound like any of these songs at all, but I wasn't too well acquainted with the game itself. But I really like this one because it sounds like 2 songs playing over top of each other, and it's way too busy, and it has like chanting samples in it, and like something that I would make, and it feels like overworked and bad, and I love that. And the whole soundtrack is a trip to listen to. There's like guitar solos and shit in it. It makes no sense at all. But
the remake or the original?
The remake. The original is like nice chiptune music.
The original is just like stone cold classic, like some of the best SNES music that exists.
For sure.
Wizard of Loneliness says that you can switch it to the original.
Wow.
So
I'm not playing it, and I'm probably not.
I hate the graphics.
I have the compilation on the Switch of the Mana games, but I've only played Final Fantasy Adventure on it because I haven't beaten it yet because I'm stuck. And for some reason, I'm like, I'm not looking this up. But it's like, why am I doing this? But it's cool because Mana games are like a straight up Final Fantasy spin-off. Like, they exist within the same multiverse or whatever the fuck Final Fantasy is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the Final Fantasy Adventure is the first in the Mana series, but it's like directly connected to Final Fantasy. In fact, the same sprite artist who made all the art for Final Fantasy made all the art for that game too. So like, your character even looks like a Final Fantasy 1 warrior. It's totally weird. But yeah, it's its own thing.
So they changed it to Final Fantasy Adventure so it would sell more in the U.S. obviously over Seiken Densetsu. But they also made those Game Boy RPGs, Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, and 3, and those are Saga games.
Right.
Yeah. I just read about
that's literally Saga 1.
It's
Saga
all
3,
it's all
3.
very. I mean, they were just products that were marketed. And we look back at it now as if it's something that actually took place, and but.
Sounds like the same stuff we're complaining about. Yeah, we were complaining about the exact same thing happening in present day from the same people. So.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
I'm almost 40, and I want to have a cohesive release of all the Final Fantasy games. Please.
In our lifetime.
Birthday. Yeah,
Denny's Akbuluk MS Solar.
What?
Fucking, I don't know. You're the one who picked it.
What is this one? Oh, I know what this is. Sorry, I don't know the composer very well, but this is more of a contemporary thing. It's like more contemporary than the song that I just put out on Spotify this morning. But no, it's a cross code or something it's called. And I was biking the other day on Sunday, and I did something I don't normally do, and I put my likes list on random and just listened to everything I've liked for the past 3 years. And I guess early when I was using Spotify, I just like entire albums. So this and some really bad Eric Serra soundtracks were playing the entire soundtrack near the end because random was running out of true randomness, and it was just, and I kept hearing this and it was randomness. And I really, really like the sound of it. It's very inspired by Chrono Trigger. There's lots of little tambourine shit going on, Celtic inspired, and little bass riffs in there, and it just sounds like this dude kind of copied Chrono Trigger a little bit. But I like that. Chrono Trigger, somewhere between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, like that game for the that we played, Kevin. What's the name of that game that I'm thinking of? It's
Final
it's
Fantasy VII.
Point and click RPG that was
Radical Dreamers.
Radical Dreamers, yeah. It's just slipped my mind right now. But it's
Nullboy is all about the crosscode.
Crosscode is amazing. I have tons of hours in that game. Soundtrack is incredible. Thank you, Nullboy.
Nice.
Brandon Sheffield of the Insert Credit podcast, I think, did a bunch of writing for that game.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've never played it, but I'm gonna check it out because the music is beautiful. So,
Kevin.
Yes.
You said you didn't listen to any new music recently. That must have just been a momentary lapse of reason for you. Surely.
That's right, Tech. Yeah, well, it's clearly the best Pink Floyd album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason, released by Roger Waterless band in 1987. And you know what? I remember, like, the first time I was going through the Pink Floyd phase and, like, buying the CD and just kind of, like expecting it to sound like, I don't know, The Wall or something, and it didn't. And I wasn't really sure about it. I grew to like it eventually, but yeah, I don't know. There's this album pops up in my head more than other ones do. I don't know if it's just like the phrasing or, you know, like the term "a momentary lapse of reason" comes into my head more times than it should, and I don't know why I felt super compelled to listen to this track, which they say the title of the album in the track.
It's it's a really weird song about having sex. Like, the one regret we will never forget. There'll be no sleep in here tonight. So that's the whole thing. It's like one slip and you're doing it, I guess.
And it's got slap bass in it, which is the sex sound. So
it's A Momentary Lapse of Reason is also really cool. It's got they actually put all these beds on this beach. None of this
that's
bullshit.
real.
They really did this. They filled this beach.
Storm Thurgeson too.
Yeah, the man, Storm himself.
Similarly, on the cover of Muse's 2003 album Absolution, those shadows are coming from practical.
Real people learned to fly for that shot.
In Black Holes and Revelations, they really went to Mars.
No, like for Absolution, they literally went.
But they
out
did,
to
yes. That is very, the Zetas filling the sky on the cover.
Why? It looks stupid anyway.
It does.
Anyway, next
these
up,
guys, they're really there.
Next up,
Sky.
It's actually not
Photoshop-
a bad
Photoshop 7.
Storm Thorgerson cover in the grand scheme of
bad Storm Thorgerson covers.
of bad Storm Thorgerson covers. Exactly. Like, they've done so much worse.
but they've also done so many great ones.
Yeah.
God, what the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Man, that album is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Oh.
It's a classic.
Anyway, next up, we got Neptune Instrumental by Harrison BDP. I think we're all familiar with them.
Yeah, it's like a techno track friend sent me, and it bangs, so that's really all there is to say about that. It's got a sick bass line.
That's all you
It's a
need.
goer.
Man, good job on that one, Kevin. That was sick.
Nailed it. And finally, The Fight Is On. What can you tell us about this great track from the Final Fantasy 15 soundtrack?
Playing the game, and me like you when this track comes on.
Jesus.
It's exciting. It reminds me of the Kingdom Hearts soundtrack, which is also, Yoko Shimomura.
Mickey Mouse.
Goofy.
So,
Gorsh.
So I'll go next. I'm continuing my journey into the greatest Britpop albums of all time. I listened to this album by a band called Catatonia, which I think, Kevin, did you put a Catatonia song on the playlist once upon a time?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know what I'm thinking of then. But anyway, Catatonia is just a female-led Britpop band. This album is from like the late 90s. It's called International Velvet. But there are a few pretty good songs on there. They were really brash, like, which was pretty common among Brit pop and Brit rock, especially in the 90s. And the lead singer, she claimed that the lead single, Mulder and Scully, which is the name of the lead single, she claimed that song was better than Oasis's most recent single at the time, which was All Around the World. And I can tell you that it is not.
It would be tough to be better than All Around the World.
It simply is not. Yeah, it doesn't. It honestly doesn't even approach it. But that said, that song itself actually is really good. I almost put it on here, but that was the one that I thought Kevin put on here for some reason. Anyway, so I picked a different song called I Am the Mob, and it's got kind of some little bit of punk energy to it. It's just a good song. But yeah, that album's alright. Then I'm gonna put this. We may have put this on here before, but the other two I'm just gonna put from bands we played with in Austin. This one is Sherry by Magdalena Bay, except it's not going for some reason, which hopefully all of you have heard by this point. But I think that's my favorite song on the album, which is one of the singles. I like the really good freak out part in the middle. It's really unexpected, and that one gets stuck in my head.
That part popped off live too.
Yeah. I didn't see them in Austin. Well, I only saw like the first 2 songs, I think, or something in Austin, but I saw the whole full set in Philadelphia just a couple weeks prior. And then an artist that I didn't get to see because Kevin lied to me. And
that wasn't his fault.
I know. It's like some sort of ongoing joke to myself.
So yeah, Kevin
like betrayed me and didn't allow me to see Caroline Loveblow. But Caroline Loveblow's new single, Happy Happy, is really good. And yeah, it's just really good, awesome guitar tone, and she has a really good voice, and just sort of like some shoegaze, like Cocteau Twins-esque, I don't know, sounding
and her
stuff
voice
going
is
on.
dialed in live. It truly sounds like a recording.
It's so good.
Very impressive.
Awesome.
Some old dude came up to her after the Pudina-Palooza show, and he was like, "You don't have to lip sync, you know."
Wow. But she was doing the real thing.
So
Yeah.
Tech, maybe one of these days you'll get to experience that. We're hoping to play it. We'll just keep lying to you about when her sets start for the rest of your life.
For clarity's sake to the audience, Kevin thought that he was the first artist to go on. And technically, he was the first one to go on that particular stage. But so I waited till he went on before I started watching any of the bands play. But Caroline Loveblow
You couldn't hear it.
Literally, I was I was outside too, like between the stages. But yeah, I at no point even had any clue that anyone else was playing. So that's really weird. But anyway, finally, James.
Is it my turn?
It is.
So my first pick is some good old outlaw country. We got Willie Nelson with Midnight Rider, which originally was just on some soundtrack, but now you can get it on this like greatest hits thing. Because Willie Nelson, apparently Austin loves him, so I guess he lived there or something. Is from there, I'm not really sure, but there's a statue of him and lots of Willie Nelson shit all over the city. I love Willie Nelson, one of my favorite artists of all time. Stardust top 10 album of all time for me.
Wow.
And Tech made a really funny joke that I'm so happy we can get record of this. And it was the funniest joke I heard all weekend long. So I told Tech, I was like, yeah, like, I don't know, you must be like from Austin or something, because there's like, I'm just like gleefully ignorant as like, you know, part of this bit. Because they got this statue to Willie Nelson. Tech's like, oh, that's because he had a son named Austin.
So
it's still such a good joke. So yeah, Midnight Rider. Gotta run, keep from hiding, bound to keep on riding. And I got one more. silver dollar, you know? We've all felt like that, so.
Tell me about it. We got Warm Pop.
Yeah, so Warm Pop, this has become something that I like to play when I'm doing like a cool DJ set. I usually like to shuffle K-pop and J-pop with like chill-ass vaporwave jams.
Like you said, it was warm.
Oh my god.
And so it was really exciting. I did not get to see George play in Austin because we went on right after him, but I did get to see him in Philadelphia, of course, and he played Warm Pop, and I was just like, I love this one! So I'm putting it on the playlist so you all at home can hear it too.
And then finally, we've got James's #1 favorite band, favorite song by that band, Always. James is a huge Always fan.
So I'm a huge Always fan. So I'm not actually. This is the only song by this band that I've ever heard in my entire life. The reason it's on the playlist is because A, it's a great song, right? It's sick. Okay. It's kind of jangly. It's like very technically not perfect. But there's a really great charm to it. I only know about it because it was on Terrace House, the Netflix version of Terrace House, which is Kevin and I's favorite show. So I was going through a playlist on Spotify of the music from Terrace House. It was on there. I was like, oh, I remember this song, and they went on that date somewhere. And then someone in the Discord was talking about if Keith was related to the singer of this group, who I guess is also a Rankin or something.
Yeah.
And then someone said something about Archie Marry Me, and I was just like, I know that jam. It's on my Good Terrace House playlist. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This thing again? You know, this keeps popping up here. Let's see. Let's see what's new from Windows. Here, I think I can just continue to my desktop. That should be